Bad Bunny has been announced as the Super Bowl 2026 halftime show. We put a lot of significance on this for some reason as Americans, but the question remains, why do we care so much? I'm Sean, Lonegevity with Bringing On the Band and the New Old Heads podcast. This is my Unpack series. Let's jump into this video and then I'll stop it and discuss as things permit. Bad Bunny is going to be headlining the Super Bowl next year with all his songs in Spanish, and I know the MAG is going to love it. And the predictable outrage is here. So they're calling him a massive Trump hater and a demonic Marxist for his political views and because he's going to be performing in Spanish. And, you know, we've seen this movie before, but the reaction is almost a carbon copy of what we saw last year with 𝗕𝗔𝗓𝗓 and the backlash that he received for his unapologetically black performance at the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny, obviously from Puerto Rico. Most of his records are in Spanish, you know, and with the way everything is right now, that's, you know, obviously going to be a little contentious to some people. So what is it about the Super Bowl halftime show that makes this such a battleground for American culture wars, do you think?
America.
Yeah, 100%
That's just
America.
what it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
America.
And it's crazy that it gets so much attention for those 10 minutes that an artist is going to be performing.
That they don't get paid for.
They don't get paid for. I mean, there's a butterfly effect that comes from that Super Bowl performance.
100%.
But it's about the two teams that are playing. It's the NFL. You come to watch the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is on for what, 2.5 hours?
Maybe longer.
And
Give or take.
The entertainment is 10 to 15 minutes. And this is always the focal point of the year. So we play a whole season of football or whatever sport, and it leads up to the Super Bowl, and people get mad about those 10, 15 minutes. And what's so crazy about this shit to me is America is supposed to be built off of culture.
I think it's interesting that we put so much stock in a halftime game. Now, I am admittedly somebody who was a super huge football fan for a very long time. Once the Colin Kaepernick stuff happened, I just kind of stopped watching the NFL. You know, there was like a kind of a protest that was going on for a while. Some people kept going. A lot of people didn't. I was one of the very few probably that stopped and continued to stop. I couldn't tell you what's going on in the NFL right now. If you do watch the NFL, and hey, that's cool. Doesn't concern me one bit. What this allows me to do is also look at this from a very unique, interesting angle from somebody who does not really care about the NFL and does not really care about the Super Bowl halftime. And honestly, I've never really cared about it. Like, it's just a really big performance. We put a lot of stock into this thing. It is entertainment. Why can't we just accept that it's, you know, it's one of the biggest artists in the world and he's going to be doing this big performance at halftime. And if you don't like it, we can just keep it moving. But on the other side of that, we know exactly why people are upset, and we know exactly why the people that are upset are upset. And they'll try to wash it in whatever way that they want to try to wash it. But at the end of the day, it's still dirty. And it's still because it's somebody who's Hispanic, somebody who does not speak in English as his major language, somebody who protested ICE and said he wasn't performing in the United States because of the fear of it harming people that would go to his concerts, of ICE agents planning to obtain undocumented people. And let's just be real, also people that are documented. And then he came back, right? He came back and he said, all right, I'll do the Super Bowl. The difference is like the Super Bowl is a major stage. This isn't him saying, hey, I'm just going to do one final show. All my people come out. No, this is the Super Bowl. No, it's different. This is for the world to see, if you will. But the people that don't like this are the same people that didn't like 𝗕𝗔𝗓𝗓𝗓 doing it. You know, that they don't like politics, but they're making a political statement in saying that they don't like politics. It makes me wonder sometimes why we are so afraid of diversity in this country. Why are white people so afraid of anything that's different? The racism has gotten so blatant. So blatant. The quiet part is being said out loud all the time now. There's no hiding it anymore. And people are just okay with it. It's really a shame. It's really a shame that there's been so much pushback. Now, granted, there's always been pushback and there will always continue to be pushback, but I wish you all that are offended by the fact that they selected Bad Bunny, I wish you would find a real cause to get upset about.
And somebody that's culture is different than yours, who is also American because he's Puerto Rican.
Yep.
He's from Puerto Rico. This is part of America.
And let's not forget that Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican. So because he's Puerto Rican, that means he's American. Just because he speaks a different language, just because he's a different color, you know, it just hurts white people. It just hurts them racist white people. Not all of us, right? But it's just he's Puerto Rican. Full stop. I thought it was America first. since the 1800s, right?
Yeah, like you can't.
I can't remember what its like technical status is. If it's
But
like
they're a part of America.
province,
Like you are an American
You're
citizen.
an American
Yes.
citizen.
Yeah,
That's
Puerto
it.
Rico,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't need a passport to go to Puerto Rico.
Right.
Bar.
And it's so crazy because in America, if you don't think, act, write, dress, talk like whoever's around, you automatically assume that they're not American. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big Bad Bunny fan, but
Couldn't tell you a song.
Couldn't tell you, but him performing at the Super Bowl has no merit, no ill will from me at all. I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I can get up and do something else if I don't feel like watching that part of the
He's
show.
not wrong though, but I'm probably gonna do the same thing.
You know
I'm
what
gonna get up and get some nachos or something.
honestly, I could care
100%.
less, man, but it's
It's a good
so
time for a
weird.
cigar. You know?
It's weird because in America, again, going back to the whole cultural aspect of everything, we're so one-sided when it comes to this shit because we're successful in other countries. They don't know what the we're talking about, but they still listen to our music. And we can still tour over there and sell out arenas without them knowing what the we're talking about and come back home with a bag since everybody's concerned about a bag.
But I will say, English is definitely the most popular or redistributed language, or one of them around
it
there,
is.
you know?
Yeah, that's another thing to other cultures. They learn other languages.
Yeah.
Whereas here we feel like you have to
Speak
English
English.
is the only language that you're supposed to know, and I don't care less about that other language. If they ain't speaking English, then get out of here, go back home.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest issues that I have with the United States of America right now is the war on education. It's the war on betterment. It's the war. It's this anti-intellectualism that is just flooding everything. The attack on institutions, the attack on education, the rejection of actual facts. We're in a really bad, interesting place right now when it comes to getting down to the root cause. America is sick. The United States of America is sick right now.
But yeah, that's just kind of where I stand at, in the
sphere.
home of the thieves.
Boy.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody
Well,
thought,
not the home of the thieves, land of the thieves, home of the slave.
Damn, Terry.
I mean, that's the truth.
Has anybody thought about how, I guess, Jay-Z's selections, if you will, in terms of, because he's pretty much over it.
It's not just him, though, is it?
It's not just him, but that's who they're going to point to, right? Yes. So does anybody think about how the NFL is looked at as vouching for said halftime show? Does anybody think about how is a pushback for them as an entity and as a business because they're attached to it, they vouch for it?
Well, let me tell you something about the NFL. There's no more capitalist organization in the United States of America than the NFL.
Can't argue with you there.
The thing is, what a lot of these people who didn't realize that Puerto Rico was the United States territory have not taken into consideration is that the Super Bowl is a global event. It's not a United States event. And the thing is, the NFL is coming for everybody's trap, if you will. They want the NFL to be the world's game.
They want that real football money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
playing games in Europe.
That's soccer
more and more.
So
yeah,
they want, and so when you're talking about bringing someone on who's a Spanish language artist like Bad Bunny, it's not just because he's Spanish language and that's going to appeal to a certain part of the world. You have to look at the metrics that Bad Bunny brings. He moves a lot of units.
He's the number one selling artist in America.
He does a lot of streams. He's got a lot of awards. He has a very wide, ranging net, if you will, of fans. Just because we don't know about him or that we are not a fans of Bad Bunny or we talk about him on this show, that doesn't mean that he isn't the dude as far.
And that's very true. And I've said it on here and we've all said it. None of us really listen to Bad Bunny, but there's no denying that Bad Bunny is an immensely popular artist, And Jay makes a very good point about the NFL trying to cast that net, about trying to grab in new fans, or the want to grow fans outside of the United States of America. Like I mentioned this later on in the episode, but American football doesn't mean as much to the rest of the world as it does to the United States of America. It's just not a thing.
Or as these numbers are concerned.
No, he is.
And so the NFL is actually very savvy, if you will, as far as bringing him on board because they're thinking about international. Like I know people are like, why don't we get some country music artists? Like I'll be honest, when you look at the numbers, country music does well in regions of the United States of America. It's not an international art form that, you can go to Europe, you can go to Russia, you can go to South America.
That
people
speaks
are into
volumes in itself about the nature of America right now.
And it's also about selling advertisement, right? If he's the biggest artist in the world, that means it's going to draw up advertising prices, not only for the stadium, everything that you see on the field, at that time, but also the commercials in between. It is what it is.
Go ahead, keep
Exactly. So when I saw this, I was like, that is genius.
Yeah.
That is what you're supposed to do when you're trying to grow a game internationally and globally. So, when I saw this, and also, there are people who are going to say this is a political statement.
Maybe it is.
This is Jay-Z doing a bit of trolling to the current administration. And you know what? That's fine. But, you can back it up with a level of, with metrics.
Facts.
That make sense as far as growing this. People like, I trust me, I was on Facebook today. It was like, I don't know who Bad Bunny is. I don't know why I did that voice. But
that's how we sound.
Yeah, that voice wasn't it, though. That wasn't it.
That's how all white people sound.
But I'm,
Gee golly.
but those,
every one of us.
But those people who are upset about Bad Bunny, you know what they're going to do? They're still going to watch the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So
No, they're boycotting.
Yeah,
like they've been doing for the past 10 years.
Because I remember,
Go Cowboys.
And the thing is, when people say, "Oh, well, we should have," even they say we should have American artists. It's like, that's what Kendrick Lamar was.
He's an American artist.
But when the Who played, who is not an American artist, when you talk about when the Rolling Stones popped up there, there has been a host. I mean, honestly, even when you talk about Rihanna and The Weeknd, those are not artists from the United States of America.
Come on.
So
they speak English though.
I mean, because
so that makes them American.
Once again, it's about that otherness.
It's about fucking stupid nation, man.
It's stupid.
Once again, it's about the otherness of someone who doesn't speak a language that you understand, and you got to. And even if you put up the closed captioning, you won't be able to read it anyway because you don't know. You got through Spanish 1 in high school,
or even English 1. Let's be real. I mean, they say like over 50% of American citizens are illiterate. It's not like illiterate meaning like you can't read a children's book. It means like you can't read text and you can't comprehend the words of it. You can't discern facts from opinion. You can't discern what's real and what's false. You can't pronounce big words. You can't pronounce small words. There's more to being illiterate than being able to read Go Dog Go by Dr. Seuss.
A green dog on a yellow tree.
Say real quick.
That's
real
petty.
quick about this Bad Bunny thing.
That's petty.
The MAGA folks are mad at Bad Bunny because he stopped touring in America based off of he doesn't want ICE showing up to his shows, detaining his fans.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
I get it.
Good for him.
That's not necessarily a political statement, but they take it as a political statement. No, he's keeping his fans safe.
It is a political statement, though.
I mean, it is, but it ain't in the same token.
It's not. This is a political statement. The first thing that jumped out to me about this was, okay, he is the biggest artist. It's a clever way to make a political statement. Now, do I think the NFL is making a political statement? No. Do I think Jay-Z is in that committee? Potentially. Is Bad Bunny agreeing to do this a major political statement? Yeah, I think it is. We have a war on people that look different than that are Hispanic right now. People that are from Latin American countries and South American countries, people that are black and brown, specifically brown right now. We have a war on those people. And also it's not just that, there was a superintendent that got detained who was like a school superintendent, right? And he was a black guy. The problem with a lot of this stuff too is this constant portrayal of immigrants as these evil people. Like they're so evil. They're breaking the law to come over here. They should just come over here the legal way. It's not that easy. They're just bad people, blah, blah, blah. It's all this disguise. It's all racism in disguise. You're not really worried about them being here. There's a difference between like a civil offense and a criminal offense. Arresting people when they're trying to get their status changed, when they're like at immigration offices, when they're at their trials, they're heading to them, when they're going to meet to get their status adjusted, to get it fixed because they want to be legal. It's evil. And if you support that, you're an evil person. You're an evil person. There's no other way to really say it. And it's, again, this is racism disguised as some sort of fake patriotism. And it's such nonsense. I just wish y'all would do better, or just to educate yourself a little bit more about what goes into the process, is the reason why it's so hard to immigrate here in the first place. And I'm speaking from experience because I've gone through the process. Most of y'all just don't know. Outside of just the legality portion of it, it's such an inconsequential thing too. It's only until this Republican war strategy against immigrants because they need somebody to blame for what they're not executing. Oh, it's the immigrants that are taking your jobs, not the fact that the capitalist class is, taking more percentage. It's not the fact that wages have been stagnant. No, it's the immigrants. It's like, oh, healthcare is bad because of immigrants, you say. No, healthcare is just bad. Why is it going to triple in a couple months? Why are the healthcare premiums going to triple? It's not because of immigrants. Don't let them tell you that. That's not what it is. It's anti-intellectualism. It's pitting this one random class over here against the other, just like the Southern strategy. It's a tale as old as time, literally, since the United States of America has been born. And again, it goes into the literacy problem, it goes into the education problem, goes into the innate indoctrination that happens to people in this country around American exceptionalism. And I just really wish people would pay more attention and stand up more about this, more than just, don't let people make those comments. Call your Congress people, help a person out when you see them, and have conversations with people if you don't quite understand. Anyways,
And then he went back.
It's not a negative political statement.
No, it's not negative, but it's like, I'm not trying to put anybody in harm's way.
Sure.
That rock with me.
Yeah.
That's noble to me. You know what I'm saying? But he went back to Puerto Rico and has done hella sold out shows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's the number one
Didn't he crack like $500 million or something crazy like that?
selling artist.
Like in just like a 30-day, I think he did. I don't know exactly because I don't follow Babby like that, but I'm pretty sure like he did 30 shows in a row at something and he made like $500 million or something crazy like that. I probably butchered it. I'll try to find the information and throw it up on the screen.
America right now, mail-wise.
U.S. soil.
You know what I'm saying? Regardless of if he's speaking English or Spanish or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care, man. I don't, like I said, and I'm sure none of us has really listened to Bad Bunny.
I know a few of his songs.
I know a few of his
just
songs,
because,
but
like,
I'm not saying I'm riding around listening to Bad Bunny. I think America's going to be happy.
Bad
Well,
Bunny.
a certain segment of America isn't going to be happy until either Kid Rock or Morgan Wallen are playing the Super
Kid
Bowl.
Rock's last record sold like 25,000
They
copies.
want him to do it.
Morgan
All right,
Wallen
so
was
no, he can't do it.
Morgan Wallen was the name that I was going to throw out there. But Spools, jump in this, man. Like, where you at?
Well, first, I'm
man?
going to start off with just a real quick funny story. So when they announced this during the Sunday night football game at halftime, I think, I was watching that game, Packers and Cowboys. And my buddy, shout out to my man Sax, I was texting with him about it. And I was jokingly said to him, I think I started the conversation off with, there's 24 hours in a day. How many of those hours do you spend listening to Bad Bunny? Right? Just jokingly, you know what I mean? Just because basically saying I'm an old nerd and I don't know much about Bad Bunny. So my buddy texts back, he's like, well, just sarcastically like, oh, on an off day, maybe 10 to 12, normally 16. And then he goes, but to be honest with you, man, I really don't know much of her music.
Her music? Damn.
And I go, that's funny potentially in two ways. Either you're playing along well with the joke and acting like you do know who he is, but you called him a her, or you genuinely don't know that it's a male. And he goes, no, I didn't know it was a male. I've never listened to Bad Bunny's music. You know what I mean? So it was just nerds who didn't know. I've heard of Bad Bunny. I couldn't name a song, but I know the face, you know what I mean? And the sound and things like that. And yeah, he's an extremely popular artist. Like,
He's got his own shoe.
So now what angle do I want to take with this?
Yeah, that's what I want to hear, Spools.
We
Talk
want
to
to
me,
hear
man.
let's go the entertainment angle. We haven't taken that one. Why are we so goddamn obsessed in the United States with being entertained? And why do we have to judge everything, every little piece of entertainment and every entertainer there is, more so than like more important things that go on in society?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, dude. And real quick to jump, and I'll go deeper.
That's a great point. We care more about like who's playing the halftime show than like this stuff that's literally happening every single day. We're okay arguing about Bad Bunny or I don't know, man. Bad Bunny. I think honestly there is a large sect. I do feel like most of the disdain for Bad Bunny, people that are upset about Bad Bunny, are people that are genuinely just racist. That's just where that comes from. They want country music. They want something that represents themselves. They feel like they're being replaced. They feel like Bad Bunny's not American enough. Blah 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 blah. Whatever, right? So I feel like there is political motivation there. But then there are people that just don't want to hear Bad Bunny at a halftime show, and it's just like, who cares, man? Like, who cares?
When Beyonce did the Super Bowl, she's Black Panther and stuff like it's just like, what the fuck, man? Like, what are we doing? Like, why are you so riled up about this? Yeah, like, damn it, like it just. I don't know. It's frustrating, man. Like I thought I was really naive up until about 2016. But I was like, oh man, we've made some progress in this country. You know what I mean? I was like, no.
But Spools, we're in an era where people are driven and feed off. That's the time that you're going to have pretty much, I'm not going to say the world. I'm not going to use hyperbole, but that's a lot of eyes for you to be able to show your ass or do whatever you want to do. And I think sometimes people are driven by that. They'll jump out the window just because this is the only time I'm going to be, it's a unique situation. So with
it doesn't. It happens every year.
No, for sure. But what I'm saying is everybody doesn't get to do it every year.
For that artist.
You mean
for that artist.
Yeah,
so
okay.
when each artist jumps on that stage, it's like, yo, I got one time to get whatever I want to get out. We about to get this off. And we're in an era where people, to your point, want to be entertained. Everybody's focused on getting or being entertained.
Yeah, it's to me like it's a lot. It's too much in my opinion. Anybody can do whatever. That's what America's truly founded on, right? Don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do whatever I want.
Right.
Doesn't matter if it's good for me, bad for me, good for my brain, bad for my brain. If I'm feeding into the bullshit or not,
Sure.
you can't tell me what to do. That's truly what America's really built on.
Right.
That and racism and capitalism and things like that. But the need to it's the biggest to me kind of manipulation that is done, or one of the bigger ones, or the distractions at the end of the day. Like for everyone who's mad about Bad Bunny or whatever the case might be, you could be reading more into a real issue and finding out the truth about what Donald Trump's regime is truly doing to the country right now.
Yeah, but again, people don't read. We have a literacy problem. And we also have a problem where people don't even believe the stuff that they read, So what can you do? And, entertainment is a distraction,
We have been made so dumb in this country, I think, and so tamed and so kind of controlled by entertainment. And I think that was definitely part of the plan at the end of the day. And it's nothing really new. That's been going on for a long time. It's a way, if you want to go really far, it kind of feeds into capitalism because of the, unfortunate nature for most of the people who have to participate in the capitalist system at the end of the day. Entertainment takes your mind off of all that shit. You can keep going. It numbs you.
Yeah.
You don't have, you can keep doing whatever it is you're doing that isn't great at the end of the day, but you have to participate in the system because you have to pay your bills and you have to feed your kids and you have to do all that. But I can watch the game. And guys, I'm not above it.
There's something that happens every single day that is entirely too fucked up in this country. And we just kind of sit around anymore and be like, wow, what's going to happen tomorrow? We're a very docile nation right now.
Any of this, by the way. I love the Bears. I watch football every Saturday. I'm a huge Notre Dame fan. I'm a huge Cubs fan.
And you save up to buy eggs like the rest of us.
Absolutely, man. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we can still step back and still people often say, and I think this is a liberal conservative difference too. Conservatives want to roll with America no matter what, and they think they're more American because of that. Whereas I think sometimes liberals, and I'll put myself in this category for right now, feel that I love this country so much, I feel like I can look at it and be critical of it because I want it to be better than it is.
Yeah, and that's another foundational point of America.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe
be able to be critical of the thing that you're a part of.
And sometimes I wonder if that's just part of there's the rhetoric and the reality, right? The concept, I'll just to throw this out, and this might sound left field, but I'll bring it back. The concept of who white is has changed in the United States since the beginning of this country,
You
too.
said who white is?
Correct.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
okay.
Trust me,
If
the
you
Italians have not always been white.
Nope.
The Irish have
The
not always
Germans
been
were
white.
never always white.
You know,
According to Ben Franklin, this is from one of his books or something that he wrote, he felt like only people basically from England, white people from England should be the ones that populate the United States.
I'm somebody that only recently realized how Germany has not a really old country.
No, it started about at the time of our Civil War.
I had no idea
1865.
until maybe 6-7 months ago.
It was a collection of territories and things like Bavaria. You hear about Bavarian chocolate and things like that.
Mhm.
Bavaria's always been around, but it wasn't Germany until 1862 or something like that, when they made a confederation.
Mhm.
But no, the reason why I bring that up is that everybody the people who choose their hang their hat on what they feel are, at the end of the day, these kind of white Christian nationalist ideals, and that is the standard for what America is. Most of you weren't considered white when this country was made.
Man.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Some of you aren't
just something to consider.
Some of you who espouse white Christian nationalist values aren't considered white now. Bad Bunny being centered as the halftime act in Super Bowl, I think it's a lot of white, or whatever you call white people's opportunity to say, well, what about me?
Be careful.
What about what I like? And this is the same conversation we've probably had going on the last 6 or 7 years, or however long Jay-Z has been a part of planning the Super Bowls. It's like, okay, we had Usher. Okay, we had Kendrick Lamar. We had Rihanna. When are we going to get a country act? When are we going to get...
But even still, man, who cares? Who cares? Who cares, man? Who cares? It is a football game. It is a game where people throw a football back and forth. They hit each other real hard. Everything is commercialized. And then people get on stage and dance around for people. They don't get paid for it. We get to hang out and drink beer and eat food and celebrate what? What is there to celebrate right now? Who cares? And if you do care, why do you care so much? I don't know, man.
Some classic rock in there. And once again, I think it goes back to not only the influence of Jay-Z, but it also goes back to the influence of the NFL is trying to grow this game internationally.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
If you look at the NFL as a product, it's 100%. And if you look at it over the span of years, it's not even just. It's look at the rules and how they've changed in the NFL over time. Like the product, the people who love watching football and love the rules and don't mind like I was watching Penn State and Oregon Saturday. It was 3-3 at halftime. That was a great game. Yeah, I enjoyed every minute of it, man.
But Brad and I are both historical Bears fans, and if you know anything about the Bears, you know that their defense has always been historically way better than their offense. Maybe not this year. So him and I definitely agree that low-scoring games are. I love low-scoring football games. Back when I was big into football,
that's to a fan who's maybe not as invested in football. Like they don't want to see that. They want to see the high scoring games, and the rules favor that more now.
Yeah, most people that
it's like basketball.
Most people that are NFL veterans or longtime fans, they consider it watered down at this point. Packers Cowboys was 40-40. It ended up in a tie.
Yeah.
Like it gets them going. Like that. It's that.
It's being made into a product to be marketed to a larger group of people, and that is business. That is capitalism. The games that they're playing. I think more every year in Europe somewhere. Yeah. They're trying to get a hold of that market. They'll play in Mexico City and things like that every year.
Yeah.
They're just trying to expand their reach at the end of the day. So, but I don't know, man. Everybody all
it's not bugged
out about the damn Super Bowl halftime show. Like you guys said, it's 10 minutes.
2 minutes.
And you can definitely flip the channel and watch the Puppy Bowl. If I'm not mistaken, that's on at halftime.
Remember we did that at my house.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, make you a chili dog. I mean, they was mad at I think it was Christmas when Beyonce performed at Christmas.
Yeah.
Or was that Thanksgiving?
No, that was Christmas.
It was Christmas.
It was on Netflix.
They hate anything that has to do with Beyonce. And it's based off of just Beyonce being Beyonce because she performed at the Super Bowl and did that shit. And ever since then, she can't do no right in nobody's eyes. It doesn't matter that where country music evolved from. She's not country enough to do a country album in their eyes. And she's literally from Houston, Texas.
So let me ask you this question then. So is this outrage and the collective outrage that we're talking about, is this a genuine example of conservative values?
The outrage is, yes, it is.
Or is it manufactured for some sort of political divide?
I think it's a little bit of everything because honestly, my timeline is more so people just kind of making fun of it and not necessarily making fun of Bad Bunny. It's more just conversation. Everybody wants to have a conversation online. Yep. It's just one of those things.
Yep.
But the bigger point of the matter is exactly what you're talking about. It is exactly that to me. You know what I'm saying? In my personal opinion, because people feel like they have to identify with everything. And unfortunately, when you look in the mirror in America, it doesn't look the same way that it used to look. And it's never going to look that way again.
I think a lot of this is fueled from the white people's perspective, most likely the great replacement theory, ideals that have been provoked by people such as Charlie Kirk that we've talked about recently. And these conservative ideals, and also, the anti-immigrant, anti pretty much anybody that speaks Spanish, all this stuff that's, immigrants are taking our jobs, immigrants are killing everybody, all this other type of rhetoric that's being fueled within this. But I think that's another piece of this too that is kind of interesting to me. Like, I don't know how I feel about it exactly from the perspective of somebody who is, a Spanish-speaking person, who literally made the choice to not do tours because he didn't want to potentially be harmful for people that are going to come out to his concerts, and the reaction from the government from that. For him to make this statement and to do this in this particular type way is kind of almost, it's kind of a slap in the face in some ways to this administration in a way that they have no control over it. It's just like, you know what? We're going to put a Spanish-speaking person on here. Y'all are just going to have to deal with it. But at the end of the day, it's like, and you have to realize that this administration are big babies. Like Trump is a big narcissistic baby, There's probably going to be some comments about it if they haven't already about the administration. They're going to make some addressments. They're going to address it to some degree. It's going to be some sort of stupid thing. We've already seen people come out and saying, again, I've already talked about it. It's just, on one hand, I really like this statement. Like the cynical nature of me is kind of like, yeah, screw you. We're going to put a Hispanic person front and center on one of the biggest stages in America. On the other hand, it's just like, man, it's still kind of performative. It's just entertainment. Like, no matter what he does out there, no matter what type of symbolism he has out there for all of this stuff, it doesn't take away from the fact that we are being very docile right now. We are not standing up enough to ICE and the domestic terrorists that are ICE. The symbolism behind everything that the Trump administration is doing in comparison and the similarities to what it is to, the National Socialists of, or what they called the National Socialists of the Hitler Party back in the 30s, and what that turned into and the commonalities between the two.
Root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. I said, no, they're not humans. They're not humans. They're animals, because that's what they are. You got to get these people back where they came from. You have no choice. You're going to lose your culture. You're going to lose your country. Does anybody believe in genes? Do you guys believe in genetics?
A murderer, I believe this, it's in their genes. And we got a lot of bad genes in our country right now.
It's the enemy from within, all the scum that we have to deal with that hate our country. I am your retribution. I am your retribution.
We're not reacting appropriately to the things that are happening around us right now. And it's almost like this administration is calling our bluff in a way, like, y'all aren't going to do anything. Y'all are just going to let this happen. Y'all are going to let whatever happen. You're going to get upset online. You're going to do your little pity party. You're going to pull out your phone. You're going to make a video about it. But you're not going to do anything about it. That's really the other side of this to me. It's just like, when is enough going to be enough for us as a nation to stop this dictator, this fascism that is trying to be invoked on its own people? Like, when is enough? And I'm not saying, this isn't a call to arms or anything like that, so don't get it twisted, but at the same time, it's like, when are we going, when is enough going to be enough? Like, as an individual, what do you have to see? Like, what will it take for you to be like, oh, wow, maybe I should, protest. Maybe I should, be a little bit more active in my, local, politics, pushing back against some of this stuff when it gets, placed on your doorstep. And I just feel like we're very docile in this country, and we just allow it, talk a big game, but shouts to those that are out there in the streets, shouts to those that are constantly pushing the needle and moving things in that particular type of direction. The ones that are on the front lines in a variety of different capacities, the ones that aren't afraid to speak about it. I don't know. Like, part of me is just kind of like, it's just a halftime show, man. It's just entertainment. It's just here to distract us. And I'm not trying to be a buzzkill, but I really want more for us. Like, can't we just, to the other, I know multiple things here, but from the other perspective, we're just supposed to be enjoying the culture around it. That's why we have different artists on the Super Bowl thing every year. Just sit and enjoy that, or don't, it's like, it's Bad Bunny. He's Puerto Rican. He speaks Spanish. He does Spanish, reggaeton. Like, just get, like, what is so hard about just watching somebody? Do you need to be like front and center every single time?
You have a choice. You have a choice not to watch.
Yeah. What's wrong with, like, these are the same white people that go to Mexican restaurants.
Oh, yeah. Also,
you know what I mean? Like,
put on
they
some
want
girls on Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
These are also the same white people that, if they have Hispanic people, people from Latin countries in their family, married relatives in their family, or people that are affected by these issues, that they want to be buddy and they want to be friendly to them. But then they turn around and they vote for this other stuff. Y'all are not allies. Y'all are horrible. Stop being hypocrites.
I want to add this just real quick. That concept, I talked about it just briefly, but like even down to the countries being taken from us, the concept, like not even beyond kind of the Great Replacement theory and things like that. That's been going on since like the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not a new concept in the United States. Right around the turn of this, like 1900 or so, there was like, I think, an entire political party maybe dedicated to keeping immigrants from other places out.
It goes to the Chinese. It goes to the Irish, the Italians. Like I said, Europeans have had to earn their whiteness.
It was Western Europeans, that, like, some of them were okay for the most part, like no Eastern Europeans.
Yeah.
And if you want to look deeper, like, you can
certainly
see,
no Southern Italians.
Yeah, that's there was the United States had the opportunity to kind of be able to bring in more Jewish people while Hitler was coming to power and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And because we had quotas at that particular point in time that we would only take X number of people from certain countries, like, and it was definitely much lower for Eastern Europe and even lower for places in Asia and even lower for places in Africa. Like, we were like, sorry.
Those quotas still exist, by the way.
Yes. Oh yeah. And they had an opportunity to be able to help a lot more people.
Yeah.
Land of the thieves. Home of the slave.
You know, so I'm just saying it's not a
I like
it's not
how
a
you
new
like
concept. Like this
I
whole
like
like
that.
this is my country and it's being taken from me by to insert name of group, right? It's been going on forever. It was, you know, the fear of Southern whites after the Civil War that black people were going to take certain things over and that they just couldn't have that. Or, you know, when, you know, it was okay to have Chinese people over to build the railroads for us, but, you know, after that, sorry, you know, it was, you know, what happened during World War II to the Japanese people. It's not talked about a lot, but in World War I, like there was definitely like Germans were looked down upon, you know what I mean? And things like, so and they're considered white, you know? So it's just, it's a
class thing too. It's another thing. Jay Moore always makes jokes about third world whites on the show, but it kind of goes directly into what we're talking about here. At the root of it all, beyond the racism, and racism is a very major part of it, but classism and the Southern strategy and the pitting the rich whites, or excuse me, the poor whites against the black people post Civil War. The classism is so deeply rooted in everything. It gets into a conversation around corporations and capitalism and things of that nature, which I'll do in another video. I won't do in this one, but it's all related.
We have a confused nationalism in this country. I'll
Very
just
much so.
put it that way.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's I know whenever the whites, if you will, you know,
okay.
they feel like, oh, well, what about me? You know, and with this whole Bad Bunny situation, do you realize how many times, you know, people who are American but who have a Spanish heritage, or, you know, I mean, the thing is, say Spanish heritage is very,
because it's a colonialized
exactly
as well.
Because people from Spain and people from Mexico don't even speak the same kind of Spanish. Okay,
but they're all colonized by Spain, and they're indigenous people of all these countries.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So,
but you know, think about how many times they've had to watch the Super Bowl and just had to sit through it and just pretend like they enjoyed it. It was like, oh, that's great. Think about how many times, like, you know, what if next year they decide K-pop is going to dominate the Super Bowl? Think about how many times.
What's crazy is they probably actually enjoy it though.
I mean, but I'm just saying, like, just think about how many times, you know, say K-pop is for the next Super Bowl. How many times have, you know, our Asian brothers and sisters watched the Super Bowl and seen no representation of themselves at the Super Bowl?
but again, I think this is a little extreme here because, like, are there any Korean pop artists in the United States of America? Korean pop artists live in Korea, so it's not really kind of a good example here. Like Bad Bunny is at least he's Puerto Rican. You know what I mean?
How many, you know, until recently, how many times have we had to watch the Super Bowl and it'd be Up With People or whatever, or the Who or the Rolling Stones, and it's all good because I can get down with.
Like, this isn't like they got the Morichucos, or is that the name of the what are they, Peruvian? Like, it's not like it's a Colombian band or like a Mexican band or group or artist or anything. Like, this is a Puerto Rican artist.
But how many times is when you just go out and as a black person in America, you don't hear anything that represents your culture and you just have to deal with it. So, like, I'm sorry.
I mean, the percentage is very
white
high.
people, sometimes you just don't get to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
And you know what? You get to, then that's how you can maybe empathize with how black, Asian, and Hispanic people feel on a regular basis.
What's
Jump in, Long.
empathize? What's that mean? Sorry. Yeah, no, it's
Go
just-
ahead, Long.
I was just gonna say we even have a little bit of American exceptionalism even built into us because we have such, like, even in this conversation, we think that the Super Bowl matters to other
That's
countries.
a great point, dude.
Bruh.
First world problem.
They're trying to get it to matter to
They're
other
trying
countries,
to?
but it doesn't.
No, this is not the World Cup.
You don't.
No.
No.
This is not like this is.
It's not the Olympics.
No, it's
you know.
not.
The World
man.
Cup is everywhere.
That's why I led with
Super Bowl.
America.
The Super Bowl is very much a North American thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, we think, oh, it's the thing of the no.
There are no teams outside of the United States that
No.
play in the NFL.
People
but they win
don't
the
care.
world. They win the world championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world championship.
Oh,
The world, Greg.
that's a great point. That is American exceptionalism. Like, just a little nugget of it.
I don't really think I need to add much more, but, like, it's okay not to watch the Super Bowl halftime show. It's okay to watch it. It's okay to just enjoy it. You can look at it as a political statement if you want. It is kind of a political statement. If you want validated saying that this is kind of a political statement, here's your validation. It is kind of a political statement, but it's also a necessary political statement. People that speak Spanish are not your enemy. People that are Hispanic are not your enemy. People that are trying to immigrate here are not they're not your enemy. The enemy are the people that are trying to create this division in the first place. That's telling you that these people are your enemies. Go look at the statistics, the actual statistics. Go look them up. Go to your favorite statistics. It's going to place that's going to skew the numbers in your advantage, whatever. And then go check the other place. Spanish-speaking people, immigrants in general, they're net positive to every metric in the United States of America. It is imbecilic to think that there's a problem with immigration. There isn't. The only problem with immigration is that it's too hard to immigrate here, and that we make it too hard and too challenging, and that it splits families up, not taking any jobs from anybody. The problem are the people that are making it harder to get education, the war on education, the companies that are, the corporations that are paying their CEOs 400% more than any employee. Target your anger appropriately would be my suggestion here. If you really think that you have a problem with immigrants or Spanish-speaking people, go have a conversation with somebody, like an actual conversation, because most of y'all have never had conversations with people. Learn about the struggles. Learn about their lives. Learn about who they are. They'll learn about you. You'll create that connection. Maybe you'll learn something in the process. You'll learn that these are just people. Immigrants, undocumented or documented, they're just people. They're just humans. Just trying to just trying to live life, trying to pay taxes. Most of them want to pay taxes. We're making it harder for them to pay taxes. The solution is not more division. We're jumping into fascism feet first in this country. And nobody should be okay with that. So Bad Bunny, I won't be watching because I don't like your music and I don't really fuck with the NFL, but I give no cares that he's doing this. More power to him, more power to the people that enjoy it. The statements that are going to be made. It's just entertainment, man. It's entertainment. Shouts to Maxie. I'm Sean, Lonegevity with Bringing Down the Band and the New Old Heads podcast. And this has been my Unpack series. Become a Patreon member of the New Old Heads by going to patreon.com/newoldheads. Get our uncut show for $5 a month. You get all of our uncut 2-hour show, and you get to support a great show doing great things that need your support. Till next time, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and hype this video up. Peace.